Leslie Meredith with Breakbulk Events and Media. I'm here with Philip Ovanessians. He's with KBX. And delighted to see you again. It's been a little while.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So tell us about KBX. That's a new role for you, I believe.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's a capital project role. It's a role that's new to Coke in itself. Is implementing on their capital projects, whether it's Georgia Pacific, Coke Engineering Services, Coke Fertilizers, and a myriad of different fabricators and suppliers that Coke owns, working with their various project teams, capital project teams, on their logistics, and as well as on their looking for solutions on how to meet their construction deadlines.
Interesting, and this, I think you were telling me, is somewhat of a new area for this company. So you're leading the way, Philip, right?
Yes. It's a new area. Traditionally, this was given to the construction contractors to look at, or it wasn't to the engineering contractors. But what Coke's looked at this strategically and said there's a lot of value if we look at doing these resources or executing this scope internally. So we've started on that journey. And it's been quite successful. We have a lot of our Coke affiliates have come on board, and we're quite busy. And we're actually in a boom of looking for more talent.
Oh wow, that's great. And are you finding it?
We're finding it, although it is difficult in this market with the upswing, definitely in the chemicals and the oil and gas area, as well as the mining and the renewables. It presents this challenge. We're also looking at organically growing our talent, taking it from we've had pockets on the manufacturing logistics side where we've been able to incorporate some of those skill sets and enhance it with the capital project scope.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. Making, sort of forging career paths for people. I love that.
Yes. And it ties in really, and it was really good in some of these presentations, specifically on the diversity and inclusion. We're also incorporating that. We're making sure, as our industry has been a little bit of a laggard when it came to that, is how we can incorporate that. How can we be more inclusive? And we're looking at remote working opportunities when possible. When folks have some family commitments, and we're looking at folks that might not maybe have all the requirements for a capital project background, but have the certain key important drivers of working well with others, having understanding transportation, and bringing them in. And it's been a really refreshing for me personally because it's expanded my mind and opened my mind.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. So you just finished a panel.
Yes.
Right, so give us a couple of highlights from that one.
Well, the highlights was, it was a really diverse panel that included freight forwarders, it included engineering, procurement, construction companies, and it included a mining company, and it also included myself representing Coke Industries. And what I find really the highlight of that was there's no one-cut solution. It's always look at the end in mind. Granted, in my scope or my work at Coke Industries on the capital project side, our end users are typically the construction teams. And so how do the digitalization and the technology cater to them? And does it meet their needs? For instance, great having that visibility on the shipment statuses, but how do we take it to the next level where these type of shipments, how they're described or how they're labeled, are the same nomenclature that construction uses, or in the same sequence or schedule or order as construction uses? That is really the key, coming up with that. More of like an integrated system, or a system or a logistics system that integrates with a construction or an engineering system.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much do you think collaborate to be the ideal solution, in the area that you're talking about? Would that require collaboration outside of your organization?
Absolutely. It requires collaboration of transportation companies, freight forwarders, end users, IT and systems, vendors itself, suppliers, fabricators, yes, it does require transparency, visibility, collaboration, and really all of us, including Coke and myself, to step outside of our comfort zones in our box and to look at it holistically.
Well, it's interesting because it wasn't that long ago, because Breakbulk's been sort of tackling the topic of technology, digitalization, where people, not all people, but certainly maybe the majority of people were sort of averse to this idea of transparency, right? And sharing knowledge, or what they considered proprietary sort of knowledge, outside of their own companies. But in some cases, it's become a necessity. Do you believe that people have started to accept the need for transparency more than in prior years?
Yes, definitely transparency, openness to change. We've seen that.
Yes.
Incorporation of AI, artificial intelligence, when applicable. Yes, I've seen it. And also at the same time being cognizant, and in our case with Coke, working with our legal teams, our compliance teams, and ensuring the information we provide first meets their threshold of information that we can comply. And if we can't, what are our ways to meet the same end?
Right, workarounds.
Workarounds, exactly. Exactly, workarounds, exactly. And I guess that's the key, is kind of keeping an open mind on the workarounds, and also educating our compliance and legal teams what we really need this information for. Because sometimes if you really think it through, do we need all that granularity, or can we use a certain aspect of that information?
Right. I think that really talks to a flexible mindset too.
Most definitely, and again, that ties into our recruiting practices now too, is having folks with a flexible mindset to ask the questions and to see how engaging we can be, whether it's to the supplier community, the transportation community, or to our construction end users. And you're right, as an industry, traditionally we've been laggards, but I think it's been now, especially Breakbulk conferences like this, these forums have helped us to be very successful in bringing this information.
Excellent. Okay, last question. You get only one word in your answer. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Outlook for 2024.
2024 will be really a strong outlook, obviously with the macro factors.
One word.
Strong.
Strong. I like it.
Strong.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That was great information.
Thank you so much
Okay.
for having me.